Welcome to the exclusive August video. This is for all patrons who were joined up during the month of August 2018. This video may see later release in other iterations, but thank you very much for your support and welcome to your reward. So with this, we start off with the typical basis of a black undercoat and then a white overcoat using Medea Comart White. The airbrush, as always, we're running around 20 psi. We just want to sketch out the main highlights. Essentially, after this stage, we want Alpharius to look like it's in black and white, sketched in black and white. So when painting this, I cannot recommend this paint set enough, the Elven paint set by Scale 75. We will be using a selection of paints from this, which we'll be going through. So Arfin Jade, Hero Blue, Huldra Blue, and Jordlin Turquoise. Absolutely amazing set of colours. So Jordlin Turquoise and Huldra Blue form the basis of the first coat, and I've added quite a lot of thinner. The thinner I'm using is Scale 75 thinner. I've since switched over from Forge World, and I need a consistent base layer across the entire miniature. I'll add 2 to 3 layers just to give a consistent base layer to start building up the rest of the effects from. My first highlight layer comes in the form of Jordlin Turquoise. Just pure straight up Jordlin Turquoise. So I've emptied out the airbrush and now I'm popping this in. And I'm sketching the highlights. In effect, I'm going over what I established with the white layer. Working in a smaller band of light, I use Hero Blue, again from the Elven set, to highlight what I've just done. I've added Medea Comart White into the previous mixture and then highlighted the armor plates, working in smaller bands of light. Now you may find that this washes out and gives an overall chalky appearance, but no need to worry, we're just establishing the light to build on top of. Sorry if that little bit sounded a bit weird, I needed to go off camera and sneeze. I doubt you would have appreciated that. I may need to sneeze again. Yeah, so the white may look a little bit chalky, but bringing the highlights up to this point, we then have the option to wash it back later on. We are controlling the values. We're trying to push the contrast of the value, meaning from black to white, and then we can modulate it from there. It's always worth pushing it further at this point, so we can modulate it further with the airbrush or with a brush. From this point, I would urge you to add a layer of green ink over all the white that we've just done, just to help modulate this green to turquoise to blue effect a bit more. Unfortunately, the video was corrupted for whatever reason, really frustrating, but it's just a simple layer of green ink over the top, and that's it. And you'll see the result in the next part of the video. Okay, now we could pop Huldra Blue Hero Blue, Jordlan Turquoise. I even have a touch of purple on there, the violet from the Scale 75 set. And I will begin highlighting each one of the scales. Yep, that's right, we need to highlight each and every one of these scales individually. Laborious, time consuming, but this is your Primark. Take the time to do it right. In this case I'm using a halfway loaded brush technique. I've popped Jordlan Turquoise and Huldra Blue into the belly of the brush, and I've added white to the very tip. And when I drag the brush along the scales, it will impart somewhat of a blend. Into the shadows, I'm moving the violet, so the Elendil violet that comes with the set, and I'm reinforcing the shadows. Okay, let's concentrate on this portion of the foot. So what I want to do is really bring those highlights up to peak highlights. So I'm going to load up the brush with Hero Blue and add an edge highlight. And you can see the way I'm manipulating the brush, I'm pushing the paint to where I want it to sit. So across these smooth surfaces, I can push the paint across the surface in order to create somewhat of a blend. In effect, we're kind of like wiping the paint across the surface in order to give that gradual fade. Now, don't be worried if it does look a bit chalky after this stage. That's where we come in with further glazes with the Hero Blue, with the Huldra Blue, with the Jordlan Turquoise. So here I'm just bringing it up to pure white highlight on the foot. The white I'm using, by the way, is Marrow White by Formula P3. Okay, now we've established the basic brush movements and mixtures, we need to go into the refinement stage. So I will be speeding up this portion of the video. We have the basic balance and we have the washes in place. So I'll speed it up just so you can see every brush stroke that I do and you can imitate in your own work. worth slowing things down a touch here just so we can concentrate on what you do on large open panels like you see here. So I'm beginning the process by washing Huldra blue over the armour plate. While it's still wet, I'll be adding white mixed with Hero blue and Jordan turquoise, so somewhere in the upper mid-tone. And have a look at what I'm doing with the brush. I'm pushing it back and forth. You look at the movement of the brush. I want to create a metallic effect. I want it to look like a brushed metallic effect. So I'm going to keep maneuvering the brush back and forth in that movement again and again and again. And this will impart the texture of a brushed metal. Now it may seem very unkempt at first. It won't look very neat, but we don't want it to look very neat, very smoothly blended initially. That's where the glaze is coming later on. For this particular moment, I just want to concentrate on the value. I want to concentrate on the contrast of the piece. So don't feel like you need to get every single aspect of the armor perfect first time. No, we need to work on the textures first. In this case, the brush steel effect, moving the brush back and forth like so. And then later on in the raggedy ends that overlap the highlight to the shadow to the mid-tone, that's where we add glazes, just to help blend everything together. Do not try and blend everything effortlessly. I mean, there are painters out there who do that, who do like it, but for this technique, if you want to practice this, just try and make the ends of the brush stroke look very raggedy in nature, and then when you glaze over it, that's where you get the smoothness of the blend coming through. Let's move on to the knee pad. So same motion, back and forth, trying to establish my main reflective points of light on a metallic surface. So again, I'll speed up the process again. It's exactly the same technique, it's exactly the same color mixture. It's just a case of, initially you may want to copy my work because you may be unsure where to place your shadows and highlights. Have a look at the non-metallic PDF I wrote last month. Have a look at it. It will explain how you develop reflective surfaces on anything by breaking down shapes into, well, breaking down armor plates into simple shapes, analyzing what kind of curvature, what kind of texture, what kind of volume the aspects of the armor has, and then building up from there. Okay, and that is it for the non-metallic effect. So it's pretty much what we established in our first few layers, pushing the contrast from pure black or near enough pure black in the shadows up to pure white in the highlights, and developing volume on these armor pieces. If you do have any questions, please feel free to send them over to me. When you come to paint your own, break it down into simple shapes and develop the volumes from there. That's the best piece of advice I can give when it comes to developing your own non-metallic schemes. But as far as the color recipe goes, post it up in the description. If you, again, any questions, please feel free to send them over to me. Next up, we are going to have a look at a very freaky way to paint silver, very much reminiscent of the true metallic effect. Really, nothing is what it seems when it comes to these guys.